This is Duke University.
Hello and welcome to EGNP's first and third series. I'm Angela Bonner, Associate Director here in the Duke Career Center. This is just a space for students to be able to explore the opportunities within the education, government, nonprofit, and policy industry. And what we like to do is bring in professionals so they can kind of share a little bit of their background, their career journey, and maybe share some nuggets along the way. Today, we have attorney William Moultrie here with us. William, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Angela. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule just to be with us today. And like I said, this is real quick. So if you're ready, we're just going to jump on into it. You ready?
Sure, let's go.
All right, cool. So if you could just give us a little bit about your educational background and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, William Moultrie. I'm born and raised in South Georgia, Albany to be exact, where I attended Albany State University for both my bachelor's in business management as well as my MBA, my master's of business administration, before coming to Durham, North Carolina, the Bull City, where I attended North Carolina Central University School of Law for my law degree.
Awesome. So I have a question for you. You talk a little bit about you having a business background and now having your law degree. And I know we haven't gotten there yet, but right now you're in the world of higher ed. So first, could you tell us a little bit about how the bachelor's and that master's degree has helped you, and then how that law degree helped you and what you're doing right now?
Sure. Well, actually going in, and it's a story that I tell, like going into undergrad, I wasn't quite sure. I was undecided on what I wanted to do. So I chose the business degree because some friends were doing it, but it actually ended up to work perfectly because I learned a lot of skill sets and transferable skills that I can bring with me to various aspects of any career. So doing that in undergrad and then going to get my MBA I felt the natural progression. But while I was in my master's program, I found my passion, and that was to work in higher ed. I wanted to be at the time a vice president of student affairs or something in that nature. And everyone that I knew that was a vice president of student affairs had a terminal degree. So I had a choice between going to law school for that terminal degree or going to get my PhD. And I did a little research, weighed some pros and cons, noticed a few people that were in positions that I wanted to be that had a law degree. I noticed how versatile that you could be, not stuck into one field. So I chose to eventually go to NCCU School of Law and pursue my law degree, where I worked in University College from a GA all the way up to interim dean there. So that's how I jumped into higher ed, but I always knew I wanted to work with students.
Awesome. I love that story. So if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about what your role is now, what you do, what your day-to-day looks like.
Day-to-day is but no, I currently serve as the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Success at Western Carolina University. And in this role, I'm responsible for academic support services such as our tutoring services, have academic advising within my portfolio. I also work with our Office of Accessibility Resources, and responsible for university events such as our commencement ceremonies, our convocation. I work in the provost office, so I deal with a lot of student issues and things of that nature. And I also see a program that's a little bit unique to higher ed is a program called Home Base, where we work with our undocumented students, not undocumented, I'm sorry, but our students that are emancipated, things of that nature, so that may not have a place to go. So we also house and do programming around those as well. And academic coaching as well is also within my portfolio.
Wow, you're covering a lot there.
It's the whole university.
All right. So then with that said, could you tell us a little bit what you like the best about your job and then something you wish you could change?
They're one and the same, actually, a little bit. So student interaction is what I absolutely love. That's why I'm in higher ed. That's the passion that drew me to it. That's what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely love it. What may be a drawback is I don't get as much as I used to get. And is finding times and opportunities and creating spaces and moments to jump into that is what I look forward to.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that. So keeping in mind that students are trying to figure out what they want to do when they graduate, and trying to help students understand that this is a journey, it's not a sprint, and things don't happen immediately. Could you tell us a little bit about the first job you had out of college and how it is helping you in your journey right now?
So I worked in residential living, like in residential life. I was a area coordinator. I call it a guard at Albany State University. So I worked there. So I lived in the residence halls. I interacted with students all the time. I saw a plethora of things. Like it spanned the gambit. But being able to be exposed to those things and work with those things and problem solve and program and things of that nature, I think has truly helped me along the way. It has allowed me to think outside the box, to be a little bit more creative and innovative with different things that we do and just take a different perspective.
Residential life, huh?
Residential life. Residential life.
You saw some things and encountered a whole lot of things in that space.
Residential life will afford you for the fire. I will tell you that.
Definitely learning experience. So this would not be the first and third series if I didn't give you a first and a third question, okay? So could you tell us about the first mistake that you made or the very first big challenge you had in your job, and how did you get through it?
My job here.
Here, the very first time when you first really started working as a professional, what was that first mistake or that first challenge, and you trying to figure out how am I going to get through this?
So one of the positions that I value the most was being a director for a summer bridge academy called Aspiring Eagles at North Carolina Central. And that I absolutely love that job, but I went in there very, very green. So it started as a transitional program for students that on paper are at risk for not being successful in college. And I'm coming in there young and hype and excited. I have these 18-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds. I'm like, oh, every college is gonna be fun. We're gonna get it. No, that's not necessarily the case. That's not necessarily the case. Oh, all you have to do is do this. And but I had to learn that there's a certain type of academic preparation that comes with students that are transitioning to college that I had been through. So I had to oh, wait, you have to put yourself in a different mindset. So understanding and being truly meeting our students where they are, like having that holistic viewpoint was critical to me to learn then. And summers passed, that came after that. I think I got a little bit of a hold of it. So we will see.
Okay. Cool.
We will see.
Oh, so for the third. Now you're gonna have to think about this a little bit.
All right.
What is the third best piece of advice you have ever received?
The third best piece of advice that I have ever received.
Mm-hmm.
You're right when you said I had to think about it. So there is a Zen proverb that says to be calm is the highest achievement of self. And I have taken that with me throughout my career. I think that a lot of times people may not necessarily see you sweat or things of that nature or stress out. And I think that brings some peace or some calmness to those that you're working with. Like if the house is on fire, it's okay. It's okay. We got it. Like we don't necessarily have to run. You don't have to do all those things. And I think that has truly helped me navigate and bring teams and work with teams through some difficult times. Just having okay, let's breathe. Like to be calm. It has helped not only I think in my professional life, but in my personal life, when it comes to different mental health issues and things of that nature, like, it's going to be all right. And then go from there. That's probably the third best piece of advice is that Zen proverb.
Okay, cool. Well, I got a follow-up question to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Talked about having calmness and, not letting folks see you sweating. It's one big thing we kind of focus on here at Duke is creating that balance. So how do you create your life work balance?
Life work, I love the way you put that. I love the way you put it. I think is very, very helpful that I really enjoy what I do. So at times it doesn't necessarily seem that old as a proverb. Like if you never work a day in your life if you enjoy what you do. I might have got that out of order, but I really do. I really enjoy what I do. So that really, really helps to a certain extent integrate some of the things but to get away, I think as well, to take time for yourself and have the support of people that you work with as well and able to support them in turn. I think that really, really helps because I tell my team all the time, like, take the time, do what you need to do, because if you're not your best version of yourself, how can we expect for you to pour into our students and for them to be the best version of themselves? So really valuing that.
Absolutely. Awesome. So my next question for you is something that I'm not sure students are really thinking about at this space, but I want to kind of start pulling this out. So if you could tell us a little bit about some of the professional organizations that you are a part of and those that you may recommend for students who are, from their freshman to senior year undergrad trying to create this pathway.
Yeah, of course. Professional organizations right now that continues to help me. I'm a part of this association called the Association of Deans and Directors of University Colleges and Undergrad Studies. I was just recently selected to be a part of an executive leadership institute that's part of ASCU for people that are aspiring to be presidents, where I get to network and conversate and things of that nature with people from across the country at various positions at various institutions. So that has helped. I think when it comes to college, when I was in college, I joined some of the professional organizations that were in my majors. For example, I was even back in high school, FBLA and things of that nature, like the business side of things, 4-H club, like all those things. But being able to be a part of those, Phi Beta Lambda, as far as the business fraternity that I was part of was as well in college, but being in groups and organizations that are involved not only in campus life, but in that area of field that you want to be a part of. I can't get off of this call without saying the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Absolutely. But like it's those things that have brought brotherhood, have brought organization, have brought networking and things of that nature that has really assisted me throughout my career and tenure. You know I had to.
I know. It's all good. So this is my final question for you.
Okay.
What piece of advice would you give yourself, thinking back to you starting your first job, what piece of advice would you have given yourself when you were accepting that job and or when you first actually started in a position?
I think that when it comes to negotiating, like when you have that first job, like I was intimidated to a certain extent. I don't want to ask for much. Like they hired me. That's good enough. Like I just take no, it's absolutely fine, because the thing about it is when they hire you, they want you. So it's a two-way street. I think that when you talk about negotiating, it's not just salary. Like I think that most people think that salary is the only negotiation tactic, but it's more than just salary. And prior, when you're interviewing, like it is very, very crucial and important to interview them as well. I think that is highly important. Not only are they seeing if you are a good fit for that organization, but you need to see if that organization is a good fit for you. And I think those two things, from asking all the questions, the hard questions, and ensuring what their answers are, and see if that fits with you, as well as once they offer you the job, negotiating the things that you want, that you need to be successful in that job, are two key pieces of advice that I would have told myself.
That's very good advice. That is definitely a piece that I share with students, is just as much as you are interviewing them, they're interviewing you. This is a reciprocal effect. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and students, if you have additional questions or you feel like you might want to reach out to William, just let me know and we can definitely connect you and get you on your way. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.